Hey, yo, this is DJ Larry D, and you're listening to KSSU. Remember to be yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Bronte, your promo and events coordinator, and we're here with another alumni interview. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. Hi. My name is Larry. I went by Larry D when I ran my show. I did this for a couple years. It was the Roundup. My whole thing was bluegrass, folk, and like alternative country. None of that. I'm driving my tractor and I'm drinking a beer stuff. I was looking for more deep cuts than that.
Cool. And then what originally got you involved with the station?
Uh, well, when I first transferred to Sac State, I knew that as a full-time student, I wouldn't be able to like really be employed, but I needed something to do to keep myself busy, or else I start kind of going like off the rails. So it was kind of like a job without a job. I just needed something to do, and this seemed like the best way to do it. I mean, it's not an opportunity that every college has to work in student radio, so I wanted to like take that while I could.
Yes, exactly. That's the reason for a lot of us. And then with your show, The Roundup, like what can you recall as being like one of your favorite memories with having that show?
Oh man, honestly, it might seem kind of cliche, but my favorite memory is the first day. I mean, it was messy and I didn't really fully know what I was doing. I just kind of ran in with minimal preparation and it kind of showed, but just knowing that I was putting out something that other people could hear, oh my, I'm subjecting everyone to my mixtape. There's nothing they can do about it. I'm in there for an hour.
I love that. And it's like we're so busy, so it's like, a lot of the stuff we're doing is on the fly, especially as students.
I mean, that and like it's my hour. I'm very quiet. I didn't really interrupt to speak. It was just, here's my playlist. We're doing this. And it felt like a little meditation for an hour, because I'm just there making sure everything's playing right and lining everything up. Just 1 hour a week to myself to just do that.
And what sort of music did you have on there? What were some of your favorites in college?
Oh man, so I'm always gonna shout out Willie Carlisle and Charlie Parr. I think they're some of the best lyricists and songwriters of our current time who no one knows about because they're just kind of obscure. I would also like to give a shout out to Nick Shoulders. Garhole Records is a really interesting label. I think a funny label to call it is y'all alternative instead of alternative. Lots of yodeling with Nick Shoulders. It's funny because he like draws from like this really old form of country. He was born in the hills in the Ozarks and would just see how far his voice could carry, and it shows. I don't know. There's just a lot of different eclectic things going on. It's also worthwhile just to pull from antiquity because this country and also Canada and Australia, which share similar roots in its way that people showed up. Folk history is just living history. It still exists. It's still out there. You can still find people making covers of really old songs that have been just passed down through generations. So I just kind of was drawn to the way that everything just keeps being passed down and the ways that people reinvent that, or when people have new stories to tell and they write their own songs and they really like put themselves into it.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into, the Southern country music, especially like Appalachian music and like the storytelling. And there's
Oh
a lot,
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot in there, but that's super, super like fascinating about your show. And then you mentioned like, there was a limited time with like physically being in the studio and everything, but you mentioned that you built the Sparky costume. So tell us about that.
You ever just like take on a project without thinking and then you go, oh my God, what did I just say? What did I just agree to? Because
Yes.
that was the situation. I'm like, oh, they need somebody to make a costume. Great. That's something I do. And then I accepted it. I'm like, oh, wait, what did I just agree to? Oops. Um, but I didn't back out. I just kind of kept going until it was done. But unfortunately, it took so long. I thought, oh, this would just take a few months. No, it took me like a year. I really did not anticipate what full time would be like because I was a part-time college student at a community college. And there were a lot of techniques and things in the Sparky costume that I had not done before because I'm a fursuiter and I'm a puppet builder. That's an entirely different thing. I mean, it has a lot of similar skill sets, but I've never worked with EVA foam before. Heat sealing, that's not something I typically do. Working with aerosols that probably gave me some brain damage. I haven't necessarily done that outside of contact cement. So it was just a lot of I can't it's four letter word, but F word we ball. We just kind of have to go with it. It functions, it worked, we got it done, and I'm so glad that I didn't back out, and I'm so glad that I said yes, even if I felt like I was in over my head for like 9 to 10 months.
Yeah, that was some dedication. I heard about like that process. And it's like, when you're busy with so many different things and you're just trying to like make time to work on it like in between.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean that took up my volunteer hours. Instead of like going to the events, I was just on the costume. Um, my
yeah,
dad was
that
not
will do
happy
it.
with how much space it took up either.
Oh
He was
yeah.
glad when that was gone. He's like, oh, finally I can reclaim the house. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, sure, dude.
I'm sure that was a big relief when you finally finish. And then like how do you feel now? Because we still use that costume all the time for all our events. We have our different volunteers wear it. Like how do you feel about that?
Finally, something I do has some sort of permanence. Um, because I'm just one guy. Whenever I'm doing my things, I'm just one dude. I'm just one person. My costumes, my puppets, they're all for me, one person. But there's like a different kind of joy that comes from making something that is going to be passed around from multiple people, that it's going to hopefully be well loved, that it has its purpose, and hopefully it doesn't rip in half.
No, it's been very sturdy and it's gone through a lot of different events, lots of like speed friending, showing up at music festivals, dancing. And it's been great. Sparky is alive and well.
Yeah, like I don't have social media, so it's very hard for me to see what events are going on. But like when I do manage to find a scrap or two and I see that, I'm like, aha, I did that. Guys, check out, I did that.
Yeah, it was like a huge help and it was, it's like pivotal and the foundation of KSSU is having Sparky. And Sparky has evolved through different iterations. Different people have designed Sparky in different ways. But it's really cool your take on Sparky. And then now that we're celebrating 35 years of KSSU, what does that mean to you that our student-run radio has been going on for this long?
I mean, the fact that it's still going, I mean, people say that radio and broadcast is dead, and I have to disagree. There's always going to be a place for broadcast media, and I'm so glad that KSSU is here to give people experience because you got people who are like working in like sports broadcasting and all these other things, and they got that start from KSSU. It's a valuable resource, not just for the community, but for the students themselves. And I hope that you get 35 more years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I say in 35 more years. And then my last question is, do you have any advice for KSSU DJs or even like Sac State students in general, currently now that you're an alumni?
Be open to saying yes. Um, I like to think that I'm just a person who gets into a lot of situations. Whether that's like a good thing or a bad thing, that's up to debate. But I found myself in a lot of situations, and all those situations are just because I saw something and I just said yes to it. Whether or not that was a great idea, whether or not I thought it through, but I said yes to making a costume and it's there. I said yes to switching majors and I did that. I said yes to taking a job that was outside of my major and I did that. Like just learn to say yes within reason. You don't know where you'll end up and you might be happier than where you started.
Yeah, I always am an advocate for saying yes within reason. That's an important part. But thank you so much.